We will put funds together, so I will be working on something. It's like 13 next week.
She's so funny. I feel like a pastor. I'm telling you, that's what it is. I'm just going out the door.
You going to the casino?
That's right. Get your moo-moos?
I already talked to Glenn, Patty, I forgot my check. So so I told him I'd be here Friday at lunch.
Okay.
We got money. Bad do this. Right.
Get this one. Thank you.
Just another
Call the May 7th regular board meeting to order. Mr. Glorioso will lead us in the invocation, and Mr. Wade and pledge. Please stand.
Everybody, please bow your heads. Heavenly Father, we come to you today asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. Help us engage in meaningful discussion, allow us to grow closer as a group, and nurture the bonds of Ocean Springs. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The record shows that all are present. Let the record show that all aldermen are present, and I need a motion to approve the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
By Ms. Nippy, second by Ms. Burgess. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. We've got some presentations in the proclamation. First of all, we got a presentation by Mr. Glenn Miller.
All right, good evening, gentlemen and madam. A great honor to be here to, deliver this donation or the commission print that I was asked to do, and it was a pleasure to do it, and I think it turned out pretty good. And a lot of history in it. That's what I'm about, history and preservation. So this is number one, and this gets donated to this, you can hang it wherever you choose to. But, doing artwork for, 45 years in Ocean Springs has been a great adventure, great thing for me. I've learned a lot. I've researched and, had a passion for the antique buildings and the buildings that people, had a lot of memories with. So I'm continuing that. And one building I had left out was this building, until Patty thought, hey, put me on the spot. Why haven't you done City Hall? Well, I could have said there's a lot of reasons, probably, but then I asked myself, why not? I can make it beautiful, and I can make some comments. I can do my thing with it. So that's what I did, and I'm honored that all the board wanted one. We have them here. I could deliver them to you now. Would you like that?
That'll work.
All right.
Then you're gonna need to get money back from all of them.
Okay.
I think we're good for it, maybe.
It's like Christmas, huh?
Oh, yeah.
I just leave them
They're
sitting
lined
there.
up. So they're lined up as they come down.
Yeah.
I decided to frame them, to save you the hassle framing. It's kind of pricey these days.
Oh, thanks.
I thought it was gonna be heavier.
Kenny, you have number 2.
Thank you, Glenn.
They're all hand painted, hand printed and hand painted, so a lot of labor in it. And if anybody has any problems with the nudity, I can come in and paint it over for you. I'll put a bikini on. So like, yeah, it's like Jesus in the market, you know.
Thank you, Glenn. The picture turned out great. And, the next item on the agenda is a presentation by the Mayor's Youth Council. I don't know if anybody was at the State of the City, but Ms. Baber gave an inspiring speech, and she's here to report on the year. And she is graduating from Ocean Springs High School. Last night, Raven and I went to the awards ceremony and gave all the Mayor's Council participants a medal and congratulated them and thanked them for their service this year. So with that.
Good evening. My name is Bruce Oliver, and I'm president of the Ocean Springs Mayor's Youth Council, and I'm really excited to be here tonight to give a final update on everything that we did this year. So each year the council chooses an initiative to kind of work on. This year we chose to partner with the Gulf Coast Center for Nonviolence to advocate for domestic violence. So last semester, our work with them was more through raising money from our events and donating, but this semester we were able to do some more hands-on service with the council. So some of the events that we got to work on included cleaning and organizing the actual center, which is located in Biloxi. And then some of our members volunteered at the annual Rock the Cause race, which is actually hosted by the center. And then we also had some members that went over and helped to clean and sanitize the preschool for the children that live at the center. And then along with our initiative, each member is required to do certain things in the city in order to remain in good standing. So one of those things is to attend certain city events. So this semester, those events included the Mary C. Easter egg hunt, the Mary C. Earth Day event, and then the Spring Arts Festival. So at these events, we have a number of different jobs, but at these specific ones, members were typically working with children and running the arts and crafts tables, directing people around downtown, and then at the Mary C. events especially, we just kind of help the vendors out with anything that they need during the event. And then another requirement is to complete 3 special projects per semester. So special projects are just volunteer projects that arise as we move through the year. So some of our opportunities this semester included donating to March of the Mayors, advertising for Friday at the Fort, working on the community art installation that was at the Mary C. a couple of weeks ago, and then attending the Fort Maurepas stage ribbon cutting. And then our final requirement each semester is to complete small group projects every 2 to 3 months. So each officer is in charge of about 5 to 6 council members, and these small group projects are basically just volunteer projects that are brainstormed and planned and carried out completely by each group themselves. And this gives our members a really good opportunity to kind of come up with projects that they're more interested in or advocate for issues that they might not get to otherwise. So this semester, some of our projects included making appreciation gifts for staff at the Ocean Springs Public Library, opening doors for elementary students in the car rider line. One group actually did a drive for the Gulf Coast Center for Nonviolence, and they collected cleaning supplies, and then finally reading to children at the Oak Park Elementary School. And then, of course, as a council, we typically host at least one event a semester. So last year, we actually did our event, The Lawn, twice. We did one in the fall and one in the spring. But this semester, the council opted to do a kickball tournament this semester. So we opened it up to the youth in the city to register teams. We had a really great turnout with 4 teams registered, which was about 40 people total. And then we were really, really grateful to some of our city employees, Mr. Glorioso, and some of the firefighters who actually came out to help us referee. And then arguably the biggest thing that we do second semester is prepare for our State of the Youth address. So this year we chose to survey on the following 5 topics, which were bullying, mental health, substance abuse, social skills, and future preparation. We surveyed both middle schoolers and high schoolers, and we received over 1,000 responses. And then the council opted to meet with the Ocean Springs High School principals, counselors, and then our superintendent, Mr. Lindsay. So we took all of that data as well as some of those conversations we had and compiled it into the speech which I gave last Wednesday on May 1st. So we had a really, really successful year this year. We raised more sponsorship money than ever before. We continued with our traditions like the lawn, but we also introduced 2 new events, which were the Life Skills Fair and our kickball tournament. But to close, I just wanted to really say thank you to all of you. I think every single member on the council is just so grateful for the opportunity to work with the city and work with all of you. So thank you.
Does anyone have any questions or comment?
Well, I wanted to make a comment. The Mayor's Youth Council was very well represented at last Friday's Senior Awards Day and then the senior recognition last night. And this young lady in particular didn't spend much time in her seat because she was constantly circling across the stage to accept a new award. Just a recommendation, you attend an awards event in the future, sit on the end of the row. That makes it easier to make that big circle. But no, the Mayor's Youth Council has been very effective. Bunch of good kids. I wish all the best in your future endeavors.
Yeah, bright individuals, and a lot of scholarships were awarded, and we want these children to go off and to learn and to get degrees and then come back to Ocean Springs and live and work and make your families here. So we want you to return. So anyway, thank you again and congratulations. Got a proclamation. Fire Chief Derek McCoy is retiring after 27 years of dedication to fire service on the coast. Chief, you want to come up? You're on the way.
He's already there.
Whereas the City of Ocean Springs is proud to recognize the men and women who display immense bravery and honor by risking their lives every day to serve and protect the citizens of our local community. And whereas Derek McCoy, Fire Chief of the City of Ocean Springs, has served the community with pride and dedication for nearly 26 years and officially retires from the fire service on Friday, May 10th, 2024. Whereas Chief McCoy began his career with the Jackson County Fire District in 1998. During his career in the fire service, he held the rank of Deputy Fire Chief with the City of Goshen. In 2019, he was then appointed as the Fire Chief of the City of Ocean Springs. And whereas Chief McCoy graduated from the Mississippi Fire Academy and has a master's degree in public administration and fire administration, he also holds a certification from the Dale Carnegie Leadership Academy. McCoy has served as president of the Mississippi Fire Investigators Association, the Southeast Vice President of the Mississippi Fire Chiefs Association, and currently serves as chairman of the Mississippi Fire Personnel Minimum Standards and Certification Board. And whereas during his time at the Ocean Springs Fire Department, Chief McCoy achieved many remarkable accomplishments, such as lowering the city's fire rating, building the fire training tower, and establishing the 1001 Basic Fire Academy, a new fire boat, 2 new fire trucks, including an Ocean Springs Greyhound branded truck, and of course, his claim to fame, Axe the Fire Dog. Whereas the City of Ocean Springs thanks Chief McCoy for his years of service, outstanding service, with the City of Ocean Springs Police Department, and extends to him sincere best wishes for continued success in all his future endeavors. Now therefore, I, Kenny Holloway, Mayor of the City of Ocean Springs, do proudly present this proclamation in recognizing Chief Derek McCoy and his loyal commitment to the service of the local community of Ocean Springs, and hereby proclaim Friday as May 10th, 2024 as Derek McCoy Day.
No day of rest. No, look, I'm gonna be consistent. I have been consistent. There's no way I can let anybody read this off without acknowledging my personnel. Some of them in here tonight. They make me look really, really good each and every day, and I'm gonna miss them more than anything. It's been a long career. It's been a great career, but my best years were right here, and I'm really, really proud to say that I retired from the city of Ocean Springs and the fire department here, and can't wait to see where they take it from here. It's been really great, and I appreciate every one of y'all. Thank you.
Chief, make sure Mrs. McCoy knows that Friday is Derek McCoy Day, so.
Okay, next item on the agenda is a public hearing. Russell Rayburn, the Porter LLC rezoning request from RM2 multifamily residential district to CMX1 neighborhood commercial mixed use district, 114 Ethel Circle, PID 612750004.000 and 614-6003.1000.
Mayor, we got supplement application on this in the last couple of days, and I'd like to refer this back to the planning commission for the May 14th, 2024 meeting, and then it can come back to us.
Okay. Anyone have an issue with that?
No, sir.
Okay, that's what we'll do then. Send it back. We don't need any action on that, do we?
Let's make a motion
Okay.
All right, I'll make a motion that we refer the supplement application to the planning commission from on the May 21st, 2024 meeting. I mean, 14th, I'm sorry, 14th.
Motion by Mr. Aldermen.
At the next meeting?
That's the next
Yeah, recess meeting.
Second.
Second by Ms. Burgess. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is agenda public comment. The public is invited to address the board for up to 3 minutes each for a maximum period of 30 minutes, only regarding issues listed on this agenda. Please identify yourself and agenda item before speaking.
D. Francis Wickman. I live at 1518 Porter, and I am confused looking at the new business, especially after hearing on the news tonight that Ocean Springs was fixing to put this multi-million-dollar hotel and convention center, when for months now we've been having meetings, especially about the chemicals in the land and in the water in that area, and it was my understanding that that was tabled. So how did it suddenly end up a done deal?
It's not a done deal. This is just to set up a public hearing. That's all the motion is for.
Okay, well, the news tonight made it sound like it was a done deal.
Not a done deal.
Tend to do that.
Good evening. My name is Glenda Byers-Johnson, and I am a new resident of Ward 4. And I wanted to speak on agenda item new business A, adopt a resolution authorizing. My question to you guys is, why do you seek to authorize the employment of professionals and in preparation for the issuance of tax increment financing bonds prior to holding public meetings? I mean, I understand that you have to get that outside source to do that, but I just would like to know that there's going to be public input about it. I understand, and I heard more, that there's a great deal of opposition to this project, specifically the location. And I personally am, I don't believe that tax increment financing is advantageous to citizens. It is advantageous to developers. I would like to know also, because I'm new, will we get to vote on the bonds?
Will that go before the taxpayers, the voters?
Or is this body solely responsible? It's just, I don't know.
It's the Board of Aldermen that will vote on it. Yes, ma'am. And there will be a public hearing at the next board meeting. The public will be able to comment.
But I don't really want you to spend a bunch of money until you decide we're going forward with it. That's all.
Well, yeah, okay.
Thank you.
We appreciate you. Thank you. Anyone else would like to speak to an agenda item? Okay.
Again, 105 Pond. I too am new. I came from a state that had transparency. And I found out recently that you don't have to have transparency.
What
No.
item are you speaking on, ma'am?
Pardon?
What item are you speaking on?
That should be pretty obvious, huh? 6A
Okay.
and B. So I would just like to ask, how many people here?
We don't address the audience. we address the
How,
board.
all right, I'll address you. How many people in back of me would like taxpayers' money to put a hotel on Pine Drive and government? Look, y'all.
Being used.
Wait. There's not one vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Adams. Does anyone else would like to speak to the agenda item?
James Lewis, 6A and D. I just drove all the way from Natchez, Mississippi to get back here for this meeting. And it doesn't set logically to come back in. Now, we had the meeting down the street when the senator and the person that came in that knows everything about the property and all the different things that's in the ground. And we seem to be going backwards instead of forward. We as citizens do not have the thorough understanding as to what you guys are trying to do. It just doesn't track for us, and you're supposed to be representing us as the stewards of Ocean Springs because you have been elected to take care of Ocean Springs. But all of a sudden is that we're getting little tidbits, bits and pieces of information that comes out, and that it's not tracking. And we just can't swallow this. It's like a snake oil salesman. I got something over here and I got something over here. Then all of a sudden is that next time you know we're not even trying to vote on something. They say that all the business on y'all. We have no input. That's what I got out of what was just said. We have no input. And that's just not right. You were elected by us. You represent us. You should be getting input from us. You should be keeping all of us informed, not piecemeal like what came over the news. And then all of a sudden everybody's in Ocean Springs and well, what is actually going on down there? We don't know. We are concerned citizens. That's why we are here. We didn't just wake up this morning and really wanted to be here, but we get from a news source that this is what's going on in the city of Ocean Springs. And it just doesn't track for us. We need to be informed and we need to know that we can trust our city officials that we have elected to do the right thing for Ocean Springs, Mississippi. And we don't have that trust because we don't see what's actually happening. We're saying, you tell us one thing and you do something different. And even when the senator came down, he took up most of the time and people really need to ask questions, couldn't ask questions. Thank you so very much.
Does anyone else would like to speak to the board about an agenda item?
My name is Kathy Skinner, and I live at 3405 Government Street, Ocean Springs. I guess I'm addressing 6A and B. I'm just going to wait till the end because I had a couple of other things, but I'll just address this. So why isn't the environmental cleanup of the contaminated site of Pine being completed before considering any type of development is being considered? I oppose the 200-room hotel and conference center on that site. I think the proposed green space on the city public works site, and then think of the traffic and the strangers going to the hotel and conference center that would be right next door to our green space, the YMCA childcare, neighborhoods in close proximity of Oak Park Elementary School. So right next door to residential homes, children's playing, going to school, families playing and enjoying the green space. Do you really think that's the best interest, it's in the best interest for the children and residents of Ocean Springs? Wouldn't a hotel and conference center be better suited on Highway 90? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Skinner. Does anyone else like to speak to the board?
Mark Erica, Ward Avenue. I gotta read this because I voice texted on my way home from Georgia to this today. I drove home from Georgia.
Sir, I'm
Which
sorry.
item?
6A and B.
Okay.
Drove home from Georgia, visit my grandbaby, just be here tonight. I've been attending these meetings for decades, many of the time with just a handful of people in this room. 2018, when me and my wife returned from Key West, I came here and I begged the city council to not let Ocean Springs become Key West. I recently read an article where everyone was against what's going on, except for a fellow who'd been living in Key West for decades, and he thought this place was great, like it was the beginning of Key West. He was right. Although we can never go back to the amazing little town we were 6 or 7 years ago, when things were still organic and nice, we're now looking at something there is no coming back from. There will be no coming back from this thing. It'll change the entire character of downtown. Several months back, me and my wife went to New England for the changing of the leaves. It was amazing. One of our favorite things about Vermont was that they still had so many little towns that time had forgot. Most of those towns didn't have one single franchise in them. They looked just like they did when Norman Rockwell painted them. The residents and visitors couldn't have been more happier about it. As a visitor, I didn't mind paying top dollar for anything in the town because I knew I couldn't find this anywhere else. I knew that that's what it took to maintain the purity of the town. And the residents were happy to retain the charm of the town they grew up in while watching their property value continue to climb. While our hidden little gem is no longer hidden, it is still very much a gem and we need to protect it like one. I ask you, please, please do not allow this hotel or marina or any of these giant projects that are coming our way next. And just to save on some money, if it's not a done deal, maybe we should wait till it is a done deal before we start hiring people to do things about it.
Anyone else would like to speak to the board? Okay, moving on to new business. Next item on the agenda is the resolution authorizing the employment of professionals for the preparation and issuance of tax increment financing bonds for the city of Ocean Springs for Government Street and Pine Drive Hotel Conference Center Development Project. Does anybody have any questions? Is anyone here from, I know Troy's not here. You, okay, ma'am, stand.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Board. So one of we have two resolutions that we're requesting that you consider. The first one is a resolution setting a public hearing for the hotel development. For the hotel development, and it's basically just a public hearing. It would be held on May 21st, and the board will hear public comments and decide on how to proceed. The other one is a resolution hiring professionals for this particular transaction. I've had some questions. The reason you need those professionals, you need a municipal advisor who is a fiduciary for the city. They decide, they look at the transaction, they look at the numbers, they look at the environmental needs, and they decide pretty much what is good for the city. And because they are fiduciary, they owe you a duty of care. And so, and you also need to hire the city attorney who is the counsel for the city. And you also need a special counsel, which would be us. And we draft all the documents and we pretty much go through all the development needs. And so,
They would be running the.
Charity Kalanja?
They would run the public hearing also.
I have an email from them.
Be here for the public hearing. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I was confused as to what I'm a little lost, because we closed section A, correct?
No.
Or,
We're talking about we're talking about item 6, A and B right
A
now.
and B, okay, I'm sorry, thank you.
Okay. Okay, does anybody have any questions?
Your representative would be here also for the public hearing to address any
Yes, sir.
questions.
Okay.
And the municipal advisor also acts as a financial advisor and advises the city on the finances.
No one can hear you.
I'm sorry. The municipal advisor is also the financial advisor for the city, and they will advise you on the finances.
Okay. All right, item 6A, adopt a resolution authorizing the employment of professionals for the preparation and issuance of tax increment financing bonds for the city of Ocean Springs for the Government Street and Pine Drive Hotel Convention Center development. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion, Mayor, to adopt a resolution to authorize the employment of professionals to do the preparation and issuance of the tax increment financing bond.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Cox, second by Ms. Burgess. Any discussion?
Can we get a roll call vote?
We're going to have a roll call vote. Just settle down a minute. Roll
Just
call.
yelling out like that.
That is a,
Ma'am.
Motion, please stop interrupting the meeting.
Okay, so we have a roll call. Ms. Burgess?
Aye.
Aye.
Nay.
Aye.
Aye.
aye, aye.
Motion carries 6-1. Next item on the agenda, new business, is adopt a resolution setting a public hearing date for the tax increment financing plan for Government Street and Pine Drive Hotel Conference Center development. Is there a motion?
What is it?
It'll be session for the 21st.
This is to set the 21st.
2 weeks from tonight, okay.
Make a motion.
Motion by Ms. Burgess. The second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Blackman. Roll call.
Aye.
Aye.
Nay.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, aye.
Motion carries 6-1. Thank you. Moving on to the next item on the agenda, new business, is property insurance renewal update. Mr. Lemon is here.
See y'all again. I think some of y'all remember the mayor's council washed fire trucks and police cars on Saturdays back when I was in high school. Come on, y'all were there. Don't act like y'all were never there on Saturday.
They stepped up their game, so.
That's come a long way. Hey, thank y'all for letting me be here. This is really an update. The insurance renews at the end of this month. If y'all remember last year, we were in a really arduous situation. The insurance renewal went to I think the 30th, we got a special call. We're in a little better shape this year. This is the property insurance, which is all the buildings. This is
the auto insurance. This is the park and recreation's insurance for their buses and their child care, and the boat insurance. You really have two different documents with you. One is the schedule of values, which has the yellow highlighted values, which is the values that the building has. I guess I want to start by saying thanks so much. Mindy has spent some time, quite a bit of time with us. The mayor, Mike Empty has been with us. Bobby's been with us a couple times. Ricky spent some time with us. And I know Patty snubbed us this year. I think we're getting a good cop, bad cop. But the schedule for us to get here to this part, we started back in February, really kind of talking about where the marketplace is. If you remember, it was really kind of rough last year, which continued all throughout last year. We went through a schedule of values review, which is this document here. If you remember last year, we've had a lot of questions about valuations, inflation, and the pressures of building costs has been huge. This year, we went through and really focused on the values. We did inspections of all the buildings that are highlighted. We updated construction information. We got new roofs on this building, on the Mary C, and some of the other buildings that had improvements around the city. So I think that's it's very important as we send this information to the markets that they feel confident in the values that we have and the construction information we have. We sat down and did a final review of the schedule of values with Mindy and the mayor. 1st of April. It's been to market. We're starting to get market feedback on where we will fall for the next meeting. We'll meet with the insurance committee next week. We should have terms and conditions back. There's a couple things that I'll remind you of. Number one is we had a 12% increase in building values. That's just really inflation, construction cost increase as we updated the schedule value. At this point in time, our initial market feedback is, although our values are up, we're seeing pricing savings coming back on our rate online. So I think last year we were looking at it significantly being up. We're going to look at some different options. If you remember last year with your $39 million schedule, we only bought $10 million worth of limits. It was very common in the market last year for a lot of municipalities and even some private businesses bought sub-limits. And we bought a 10% named storm deductible last year. So we'll look at try to get, if we can get that named storm deductible down again this year, at least look at that option. We'll be doing that. As to the auto insurance, we've added, I think as of date, like 13 new vehicles so far this year. So there's going to be increase in exposure. We'll make one more run at the schedule values and see if there's some vehicles that need to come off of that schedule. If you remember, this coverage is only for the physical damage. All the auto liability is handled in the municipal program for your vehicles. Got 2 new fire trucks coming. A Greyhound fire truck. I guess I'm excited. I saw pictures of that the other night and what that means. We have looked at some additional markets for the boat. Hopefully, that's been kind of pricey over the last couple of years because that liability is also not covered in the municipal program. So we're seeking another market for that. In Philadelphia, who writes the child after-school care for the park and recreation, is not renewing. So we're seeking markets for that as well. There's a couple pages in the back that are a little bit of commentary on what's happened in the insurance industry over the last year and losses, inflation. I'll leave that for your light reading. I guess I'll say that 2024, we started off this year with pricing in the plus 10 range, and we've seen after the May 1st renewals, we've seen it start to come down to some -5, -10. So hopefully we can continue to play into that extra capacity that's in the marketplace. Questions other than that, we'll get on your schedule for next week with the insurance committee to try to come back to the board with some options in terms and conditions and pricing. and as we get closer to the renewal by the end of the month. Comments from anybody participated or looked at?
Yeah, I like to hear that negative percentage, Scott, that's, yeah.
Can we push that meeting to the middle of next week or later?
Yes, yeah, that'd probably be best. And you know, we've had this conversation even after last year, you know, where we were waiting on capacity to fill the order by the 30th. What we've seen is a couple boards have approved in their board meeting, and we've had favorable terms come in after that. I don't know, we'll have that conversation next week as we move forward. So.
Thank you, Scott.
Okay, thanks, Scott.
Thank y'all.
Does anybody have anything to pull from the consent agenda?
Item O, Mr. Mayor.
Item O. Okay, anything else? Need a motion to approve the consent agenda, everything but item O.
So move.
Motion by Mr. Aldermen.
Second.
Second by Mr. Blackman. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item O.
I know that's the retirement of Chief McCoy there. I just want to recognize him again. When the agenda item was typed up, it said accept resignation. I know it's a minor point, but I want to rephrase that to say accept the retirement. It's reluctantly accepted, Chief. You've done a great job since you've been here. We appreciate your service. So I want to make a motion to approve item O from the consent agenda, amending it to say accept retirement of Fire Chief Derek McCoy effective May 10th.
Second that motion.
Motion by Ms. DMP, second by Mr. Cox. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is department reports. Anybody have anything to pull from the docket of claims? Is there a motion to approve the docket of claims?
So move, Mayor.
Motion by Mr. Cox, second by Mr. Wade. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Does anyone have any questions about the monthly budget report? Is there a motion to accept the monthly budget report?
Motion to accept the monthly budget report.
Motion by Mr. Cox,
Second.
second by Mr. Blackman. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item C, authorization to enter into an automatic aid agreement with the Gulf Park Estates St. Andrews Fire Protection District. Chief McCoy?
Yeah, this is the automatic aid agreement that we've been discussing among the departments for quite a while. Honestly, this is something that we should have had in place for a long time. Not only will it benefit us, but it will benefit Gulf Park Estates. And I don't know, probably about 6 months ago, he came to me and we really started sitting down and discussing it. We actually met with the Rating Bureau and discussed some of the benefits that they will see, and we'll have some benefits as well. But all it is an agreement that would basically assure them that we will respond, if requested, to an incident that they may have. But this agreement is more driven just towards fires, structural fires. So they call us, we'll send an engine and some personnel initially, and if we need more, but of course, we're doing it already. But this is an agreement on paper that will allow them to get some benefit to the Rating Bureau as well. So that's pretty much all it is.
All right.
I'll make a motion to approve that aid agreement.
Motion by Mr. Impey. Second by Mr. Cox and Wade. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is general public comment. The public is invited to address the board for 3 minutes each for a maximum period of 30 minutes. Only 2 speakers will be allowed per side of each issue. Please identify yourself before speaking.
Good evening. My name is Joe Jewell. I'm in the Ward 3. First of all, I want to state that I'm speaking as a private citizen, not on behalf of any group or organization. The first thing I want to address is a comment I've made before, but I want to say it again on public record. I oppose all commercialization on frontage. What we have right now is a gym. The public enjoys that. We have outside tourists from other counties come over to visit specifically because of that quaint charm that it brings. And I do want to commend the mayor and the Board of Aldermen for the improvements at Marpaw. That was a really nice thing for our city that our citizens can participate in. So that being said, I want to talk about public comments. I want to propose that this board reconsider the limitations of people's constitutional rights to stand up here and comment. I'm not opposed to the 3-minute limit. I understand that. But the other limits, 2 speakers on one issue, really limits the input of the public and their ability to express their opinion. I spoke to my alderman about that, and his response was, "What do you propose?" I don't know what I propose. I don't know what the answer to that is. I know that the board has issues, and the citizens have issues. There's got to be some median or neutral ground there. Like I said, I'm not opposed to the 3 minutes. I stand up here, I'll tend to repeat myself over and over, and nobody needs to hear that. But I do recommend that the board take this up and adjust that. I think that 2 people on one topic is the issue for most of the citizens. I would appreciate that if y'all would consider that. And then I want to talk about the city hall, or the proposed new city hall. I actually am not opposed to a new city hall. What I would like to request is that as that proposal moves forward in funding or in project, that the citizens be allowed on the front end of that project to voice their concerns and opinions. Right now, I think that it's a wonderful idea. I don't like the location right here. I like the idea of a central location here, maybe on Government. But I would like it to be large enough. I'd like this room to be like a Mary C. style, the largest auditorium, so the public can attend and have to wait outside on controversial issues or be asked to leave, or only certain citizens can comment. All citizens should be able to comment. I would recommend that when that is the plans are being considered, that an extremely large public room. The city of Ocean Springs has really outgrown this room. I heard a gentleman earlier talk about, I was here too when there were only a handful of people. So I would like y'all to consider that. Allow us to have some input on that before it's further developed.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
Hey guys, my name is Tony Quaid. I appreciate the opportunity to be here. I've actually come this afternoon to speak out for the downtown businesses in Ocean Springs. I am currently the COO of Mosaic Group in downtown. That wasn't always so. About 5 years ago, I was actually the executive chef under Arturo Bras. I have since been moved up to general manager and taught a number of things that I would not have had the opportunity to learn were it not for the downtown area. Let's see. So I was making a modest salary, supporting a wife and children at the time. The new owner bought it. He pulled me from the kitchen, taught me how to bartend and serve, made me the general manager of the restaurant. Let's see. Sorry, I'm not much of a public speaker. That was just the start of my growth. I've learned everything from payroll to HR, creating entire companies, and today we successfully own and operate 6 businesses here in downtown. Lost Spring Brewing Company was essentially a storage unit that we turned into a unique microbrewery experience. We recently purchased Chard, a failing business, and have turned it into Evergreen, an upscale casual fine dining restaurant that is doing well for itself. We took a rundown building and remodeled it entirely to produce 11, which is a pretty upscale cocktail lounge, if I might say. All of those places add value to the city of Ocean Springs and provide a good paying, stable job for over 100 employees in downtown. Not to mention the local contractors and tradespeople who we supported during all of these developments and continue, for repairs and maintenance. With that being said, I'd like to address the issue with loud music. Mosaic employs a lot of local musicians who have made careers out of playing music for our guests that come to downtown. Some of them rely on downtown music venues to be able to make a living for their wife and kids. I can tell you we're the only place in downtown that offers music 7 days a week, and I can promise you never hear our music During the week, we shut down at 9:30, 9:45 at the very latest. On the weekends, by 11:30, 11:45, music is off. We're down to house music, and I assure you, you cannot hear it more than 30 yards from the business. Together, we have developed and grown a portfolio of businesses that produce multiple millions of dollars in revenue for the city every year. 2% of that comes directly to y'all. On top of that, we spent more than $20,000 supporting Ocean Springs schools and organizations. We support the football team, basketball, baseball, softball, cheerleading, you name it. The Lord is My Help, Feed the Need, Comeback Coolers, all of the chamber activities and city functions. You name it, we've contributed. We give back to our community all the time. I wonder how many people can say the same. But with the growth and success that we've had, my salary personally has significantly increased over the last 5 years. I finally have good health insurance for my family and wife. These are good jobs, and trying to get rid of tourism and music and bars downtown is an attack on my personal well-being. Thank you guys, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, or good evening, sorry. My name is Will Hesmeyer. I am from Ward 2. I live over on Nelson Drive. I'm not local to or originally from Ocean Springs. I'm originally from Washington, D.C. Mr. Wade, Mr. Hoffman, it's good to see you. Anytime I get to bump into y'all at Mass at St. Alphonsus is always a pleasure. The last few years I've been the youth minister at St. Alphonsus Catholic Church and just picked up a second job at Tri-Hard Sports, so that was why I was late, and I appreciate whoever made the comment about extending the comment times for that exact reason. Thank you all for being here. I guess basically my point would be to address the issue of 6A and B, and my only questions are, did I hear correctly that it's based off of the Aldermen's board is the vote as to whether it succeeds or fails, correct?
That's correct, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Secondly, if the Aldermen's board is the vote that guarantees its success or failure, what is the purpose of the public hearing?
Or public comment.
Is it just for comment?
Supported, yeah, just
Okay.
for public comment.
Okay. Thanks,
Did
Mr.
you
Mayor.
let the board hear your comments?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll just briefly say, I grew up on Capitol Hill, so 3 blocks from the Supreme Court. Capitol Hill in many ways reminds me of Ocean Springs, small town feel in a larger part of the country. DC is actually only 10 by 10, so you're like welcome to do it. But I left DC because I loved my community down here on the coast that I made when I was at Southern Miss for 3 years of my undergrad. And then COVID happened, and I was like, well, I'll go get a job. And that was all disappeared. And what I saw in the 2.5 years of COVID in DC was small businesses were the ones that took a hit, and developers were the ones that were out on top at the end. And so I guess my point would be I would greatly appreciate the Aldermen's board to consider not being in favor of this development, because I love Ocean Springs, I love the Mississippi Gulf Coast, but I do not want to see Ocean Springs go the way of DC, where I'm newly married. I got married in October, and supporting my wife, we're struggling to find a house, and most places are unaffordable for rent. DC is very much that way, where a single man living in a shared basement unit on average will pay $1,900 a month in rent just for his bedroom. I really don't want to see Ocean Springs go that way, and unfortunately that is what happens to small towns and large cities, or small cities if you compare DC to New York, Manhattan. That's what happens to them when developers become the largest profit margin, business owners, and contributors to what that town has to offer. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Hi, thank you for letting me be here today and speak to you guys. My name is Daniel Fowles, and I'm here to talk about what tourism in Ocean Springs is doing to support the livelihood of an estimated 300 people working in the service industry. As the general manager of Mosaic Restaurant and Bar, I'm personally responsible for 36 of these people. I employ people from the age range of 18 to 60. These people are everything from students just starting out to mothers and fathers who are raising families. We also employ positions of all kinds, different kinds of contract workers, repairmen, cleaners, and these people are trying to create sustainable lives for themselves by working honest jobs. But there are people out there who want to take these jobs away from them. It's also worth mentioning that these people are voters, as am I. Some of them are renting, but some of them own their homes, like I do. And we're as much a part of Ocean Springs' community as anybody else. The jobs we provide at Mosaic are good jobs that allow people to have flexible schedules so they can go to school, spend time with their families, and navigate the challenges that sometimes come from having to do both. The implication that having a job in the service industry is a dead-end job is just categorically false. Not only does Mosaic support the livelihood of their employees, but we also support the city. We pay a 2% tax to the city as an entertainment venue, as do the other businesses in our corporation, the Red Apple, Lost Springs, Neon Moon, Evergreen, and 11. Over the past 5 years, Mosaic alone has paid $250,000 to the city. And I'm sure that's paid for a lot of city workers' salaries. And how many people have benefited from the increase in property value due to the growth in Ocean Springs? Because I know I have. There have been comments made about loud music being played late at night. At Mosaic, we close at 10. On weeknights, the musicians are usually done by 9. On weekends, we close at 11. And the musicians are usually done well before then, too. We are on board to work with the community to be responsible business partners and citizens, but we're not the cause of public disturbance. Please don't plump us into late-night venues that are. And please rest assured that as a homeowner, I vote, and we vote, and we will vote to save our jobs and support our families, and we'll be heard through the ballot. Thank you. I appreciate your time.
My name's Noelle Nolan-Ryder. I'm a resident of Ward 4. I'm speaking to you about new business 6A and B. I have repeatedly asked the question, if the city acquires the Lycia property, who is responsible for the cost of the remediation? There's vinyl chloride on that property. We know there's vinyl chloride on that property. I've heard you say 2.8 million. I asked if the Mississippi Department of Environmental Quality had seen the plan, the $2.8 million plan at the public meeting. They said they had not. So we still don't really even have an idea of cost that MDEQ has looked at for remediation. And y'all are talking about a bond with our tax dollars to acquire this property and build hotels and a convention center on this property without addressing the remediation.
Well, that's not our project, that's a private development. We're not buying that property, we have nothing to do with the developer.
So what is the bond for exactly? Can you go into that detail about this bond?
It's not a bond, it's tax increment financing, and it can only be spent on public access types of, the developer has to come in and they have to build sidewalks, they have to do street lighting, and they have to do signalization, they have to do parking, public parking, so forth. That's something that the tax increment financing can pay for. It's a certain amount of money, it stops at a certain period of time, it can't be spent for anything as far as the hotel itself. So that's what it's about. And then another thing too is, the city will not purchase that property, that's not part of the plan. The MDEQ meeting, the consultant who works, that's worked with MDEQ and the developer, that's an estimate that they made of $2.8 million. If you remember in that meeting also, in that plan, that it says strictly that nothing will be built on that piece of property until the MDEQ is satisfied with the environmental cleanup of it.
Right, so, okay, so now you're talking about a bond to put like sewage, drainage, sidewalks, and parking in that area before we've finished the remediation and MDEQ is signed off.
Nothing will be spent on it until the developer spends the money and the tax generation from the development supports the tax increment financing portion of it. It's a rebate program is what it is, and they have to generate enough income in order to get that rebate back. And like the lady said, like the attorney said here, all this will be studied by attorneys and finance people to make sure that it is a good deal for the city. They have a fiduciary responsibility to do that. That's why we hire them, to make sure that it's a good deal for the city.
Okay, okay, thank you.
And I'm gonna give you some more time because I've done some talking here.
Okay, no, I appreciate the clarification. So who, I'm still wondering, is Lycia financially responsible for the remediation, or is this new developer going to be financially responsible for the remediation?
If the developer buys a piece of property, they will be responsible for it. Now, anything that's off-site.
Like the creek?
That's a creek, that's right.
And
Lycia will be responsible for that.
Okay, so they would be responsible for the creek, what's going towards the juke joint, and what's going towards the daycare.
Anything that's off-site.
Vinyl chloride.
And MDQ is putting some pressure on them to move forward quicker than what they have in the past.
Okay, and then, are we sure that this developer actually has the financial backing, 2.8 million maybe, to do the remediation if they acquire this property?
That's gonna be something between him and the MDEQ. I mean, they're not gonna let him move forward unless that site is clean. So that, again, that's a private developer issue with MDEQ.
Okay.
So
MDEQ would be responsible for making sure they have enough cash on hand to pay for the remediation? And we need to check.
They're gonna have to do that first step. That's gonna be first step. If they can't get past that, they can't.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, moving on to Mayor and Alderman's Forum. Alderman Burgess.
So Alan, those signs are coming in, right? We got them in now, so we're gonna put them in by the end of next week, I think we said. Okay, excellent.
That's in Ward 3, right?
Mr. Lewis, you wanted to say
No,
something?
I'm gonna do a ribbon cutting for them. Huh?
I think Mr. Lewis wanted to say something.
Board wanted some public comment.
Oh, for public comment?
I didn't know that you had moved on because
Can't be napping.
I know there was another gentleman that was over there.
Well.
James Lewis, 805 Cambridge Drive, Ward 5. Rick, I don't mean to put you on the spot. Well, I talked to you about speed bumps on Jesse L. Schroeder because they're speeding through there. And you said you're going to look into that, and that's been over 60 days. And so I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I'm embarrassed. I'm just thinking.
No, you're not embarrassing. I mean, speeding seems to be an issue throughout the whole city. I mean, I'm not sure the speed bumps are the solution to the issues with people speeding.
Okay, move right along then. They put the crosswalk, asphalt white stuff, whatever it is, they call it, across streets, and it's then got hot and popped all off. And y'all said y'all gonna go back in and look at that, and
Yeah, Mr. Lewis, we've been doing that on Sunday mornings, trying to get it done, because that seems to be the least amount of traffic that's flowing. Now, on your case, being right by the church, you have traffic on Sunday morning, so we'll get it fixed up for you.
appreciate it. And also, even though you got signs up, I appreciate it, but I almost got killed out there. And I mean, literally, almost got killed because a person was on their phone. But they're still driving past 20 miles an hour on there. And sometimes people trying to get out of church, the crosswalk is there. And instead of falling down, they're speeding up on Sundays. I don't know what y'all can do about that, but like I said, the key thing is you got signs out there, and it's a 20-mile-an-hour zone.
Some people just don't pay attention.
Maybe some people get a ticket.
Yeah, well,
That's my point.
okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
One more time, sorry. Lee Whitman, 1518 Porter. I just wanted to bring to your attention, because I walk the dog downtown every day, and also I work with my church pantry, the Church of Christ behind Burger King, over there Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I used to enjoy the stuffed crab at Shrimp Basket till it closed. Right there by Ames Avenue, you've got where family used to live, it's now just woods, and on the other side of Ames is a green lot that's for sale. Cheryl's, I believe, is closed and for sale. The butcher.
Cheryl's is closed? No, you're talking about BB's?
Something down there.
BB's.
Don't be telling me that now.
But the butcher place is empty and has been for a long time. 1518 Bienville, right next to the Bienville Vet, which is a duplex, nice looking black and white building. It's sitting there empty. So instead of y'all going out to Highway 57 and beyond and getting some more land, can't you designate somebody to work with people to try to use some of the buildings? I mean, Krispy Kreme's closed now. A lot of the Winn-Dixie shopping center is closed. And we need those things filled up. I mean, I got a paper the other day in the mailbox for something called Ollie's. I never heard of Ollie's. And then in Gulfport yesterday, I saw, oh, there's an Ollie's. Why doesn't somebody go talk to Ollie's and say, hey, we've got this great building over here for y'all. A lot of people would probably shop with you if you move over here. I mean, it's Ward 2. So let's see what we can do to fill up some of these empty buildings. You know, the gym that moved down there on the end of Porter left an empty space there by Neon Living or whatever.
It's not empty. That's not empty. That's being used.
For storage, it's not.
Well, he's paying rent. He's paying premium rent for storage. I can assure you.
I may have to do that myself.
Are you talking about development?
Yeah.
Are you talking about business development?
Right.
Okay.
I mean, they got
Sure.
businesses. I mean, I can't even count the ribbon cuttings we've had. I mean, everybody's taking up buildings.
Yeah, we cut a lot of ribbons last couple of weeks. Okay. Moving on to Mayor and Alderman's report. Video.
In the first one.
Mark Eric on the board, I mean, we're just at with like, giving these guys doing great stuff. I gave them a lot of that $250,000. What we got going on downtown, that's wonderful stuff. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about in Vermont. All these unique, cool little, wouldn't say mom and pops, but a nice little unique small town feel right there. I think what's happening a lot with the city, which needs to be addressed somehow, is that when people are speaking up against big developments and all this kind of stuff, people are lumping it in. I mean, we don't want this huge hotels and all that kind of stuff, but that's not the same. The loud music, what Tony, I believe, was talking about, everybody knows where the loud music's coming from. One of the fellas, which Ricky I even liked, one of the fellas told me that responsible for the loud music, he said, Ricky's giving the neighbors the guy's personal cell number, so these people are calling him late night, which is good for you. But and then when people are talking about, they're upset with what's going on with the administration's trying to push big projects and all that, and then I see people chiming in and saying, hey man, y'all can't knock the city. Public Works, that's hard workers, man. The police department, that's hard workers. You know, the utilities, that's hard workers. Everybody knows that utilities and public works and fire, they're not making the decisions, but it keeps getting one thing where everybody's at war with everybody sided everybody. where it just need, I guess, the transparency somebody pointed out. We just need to be forthcoming about what's really happening, so people know exactly what's going on, and we don't have people fighting in unnecessary situations.
Okay.
I'm good.
All right, anything?
I'm good. I just need to make one motion here. With Chief McCoy retiring on the 10th, is that right, or 11th? 10th is the last day. 10th is the last day. We all hate that, Chief, and I know we've already discussed that some, and we wish you the best. But I need to make a motion that we appoint Deputy Chief Ryan Heath to the role of interim fire chief effective May 11th.
A motion by
Second.
Mr. Blackman,
Second.
second by Mr. Papania. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Good, motion carries.
That's all, Mayor.
Congratulations.
And I've got a couple of housekeeping items here for HR. Make a motion to authorize the employment of Mr. Seferovic, Planner 1, Step 1, $21.72 hourly rate, effective June 3rd, 2024. 1-year probationary status pending successful completion of all three employment requirements.
A motion by Mr. Impey. Second by Mr. Blackman. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Make a motion to authorize the employment of Samantha Pauls, Planning Administrator, Step 3, $18.06 hourly rate, effective May 9th, 2024. 1-year probationary status pending successful completion of all three employment requirements.
A motion by Mr. Impey.
Second.
Second by Ms. Burgess. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
No, I just wanted to thank the school system and the organizers for the May 2nd National Day of Prayer at the high school stadium. It was very, very well attended. The stadium was packed. Great event, and I appreciate their efforts in putting that on.
Mayor, I do have one more thing real quick, if you don't mind. First of all, Glenn, thank you, Mr. Glenn Miller, for the grants. That's awesome. I love how you personalized them for us. And the one for City Hall with a nice frame really hit the spot. So good job there. And the other thing, I see Wade in the audience out here. And Wade slipped out on us between meetings, so we didn't get to officially say anything about Wade. But Wade, we thank you for your service to the city and wish you well on your retirement. Congratulations, and glad you're going to stick around.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Thank you, Wade.
Good job.
I did have one, Mayor. I'd just like to ask for prayers for the family of Lamar Bond. He was a big team member of the chamber staff, volunteered for all the cruising, for the Peter Anderson festivals, for pretty much anything you needed help. You called Mr. Lamar and he was here. But we lost him earlier this week. Ask for prayers for his family.
Thank you, Bobby. Thank you for thinking about that. Ray, do we have anything? No. I need a motion to go into closed session to discuss the necessity for the executive session.
So moved.
Second. Motion by Ms. Burgess, second by Mr. Arthur. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. The board is in closed session.
I think so.
Say this in the comments because it had nothing to do with the business, but
Yeah, that's bad stuff.
Okay. They go to, I'm starting to, and I thought there's nothing on this paper that relates to that.
That's just general public comment. Something like that. School board, schools are good.
But anyway, I just wanted to try to mention that.
I'll
They
mention
play
it when we come out.
there, but then they play his flag. And I know, we don't have any skills this morning. We'd like to have Jack again. don't know if I can say for y'all. How long will y'all be? I'm sorry, I started to, and I thought I had stuff on here. I didn't.
Hey, Sarah.
Okay.
This bear already dropped.
I was like, what are these?
Found Vicky. Okay. Well, you're all right. Motion made by Rob Blackman, seconded by Mike Impey to stay in executive session to discuss property acquisition.